Hi everyone, it's Thursday night, 9 o'clock. It's time for the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. Well, very interesting show tonight. We're going to be focusing in particular on the Dubai 7's. It's the start of the 7's series, and I know a few punters who get very excited for this one. They love the fact that there's 14-minute games and you can get involved, and it's almost like a spin of a roulette wheel, I guess, except I can tell you a lot more skill involved, and the boys got off to a cracking start today. So without further ado, let's introduce the panel, and I'm going to start off with Sean Nicholas. Sean, how are you? Welcome to the show. Excellent day. Oh, I've actually removed him from the stream. Sorry about that. How are you there, Sean? A great day for you, and I'm going to bring Oracle up in the meantime.
No.
Yeah, how's it, Brent? Good to be back. It was a lekker day. It was, just the Kiwis did well. Australia did well. Springboks were a bit disappointing, but it was a good day overall.
Excellent. Well, I'm sort of peering because I don't really see a very clear view of the Oracle here, but looks like he could be there in the dark. Oracle, have you joined us? I see a light.
Oracle's turning left.
Okay, Oracle's still trying to get set up. So Sean, let's start with you. I'm gonna remove Oracle from the stream until he gets set up there. What looking at your day? I mean, I know you posted on the Good for the Game forum a number of early tips. I think you liked New Zealand on the minus. There were a couple of others, Australia you liked. From what I could tell, everything just arrived. It was one of those almost perfect days.
Yeah, it's actually scary. It was a lovely day. It was just scary that it happens, and then you're going into the weekend. You think, what's going to happen? Is it going to, law of averages going to come to play? But the first game of Seven's first season is it's great to look into because you can see what sort of teams are going to be from the teams that they pick. You can almost gauge how the guys are going to be. That everyone's going to be up for it. So the big teams generally, they put their foot down, as New Zealand did, as Australia did, and England to that fact as well. So you can. I think you got more of an edge in the opening game of the season than any other time.
Excellent. Well, just to welcome Chris on there, reckons there's quite a bit of value in that, and Brendan O'Connell watching on our Facebook feed, which we've also got going. Brendan, good to see you. Let us know what country you're in at the moment. Of course, you are in. I know you're in Dubai because you're actually doing a bit of work there at the 7's. You're following the ladies' game. No surprise there. Let's try a game with Oracle and see if he's set up properly. Oracle, are you there?
They're either pulling somebody off.
Yeah, he's driving. I think he's still driving.
Is he driving? Oracle.
I think he's driving.
It says Oracle.
I tell you, Oracle is absolutely one of a kind. As Brendan, I'm gonna leave him on and I'll mute him for a little bit. Oracle, are you there?
Everyone can hear you.
No, let's take Oracle out for the time being. Okay, Sean, I know I'm assuming Oracle does get on. We'll discuss a bit of European rugby as well. I know you don't follow that as closely, and I should imagine this week for you is all about the 7's. So let's have a look at some of the fixtures coming up. I'm going to just share the screen here for a second and just make sure that I've got it right at the start there. Now, we don't have betting yet, unfortunately. Well, I haven't seen any betting. If any of the guys in the live chat have, they can mention it to us. But let me just run through the game. Samoa 7's against Wales.
Yeah, or just what I'll do before Oracle gets in, I'm sure you want to talk about that. I'll just chat about the teams. The major differences from last season, this season is, the first team, the team that's come up, Ireland, they were fantastic today, and I think you got to watch them. I think it's going to take the bookies quite a while to catch on to them. They gave them 16 or 17 points underdogs against the United States today, and they only lost by 5 or 7. It was one score. So, they're a lot better than the bookies give them credit. So I think they're a lot better than Wales. They're a lot better than a couple of the sides on the circuit. So Ireland's definitely one to watch for the short term. I think maybe around 3 or 4, the books will get clever with that. But at the moment, they're great to follow. Another one that also got to take note is Kenya. From last year's shambles, they've actually got their team back. They're a lot better units. They just, the way their physicality they showed against the Springboks was fantastic. And they also want to watch, just see how they price up with them tomorrow, because I think that the bookies are still thinking that they last year's Kenya, which were like the C team with all their contract disputes. So now they're back to the A team. The size of their guys are crazy. And then just, on 7's in general, I mean, what you need, where I think the Blitzbokkers are going to do quite well for the next 2 tournaments is because they've got their main guys back. Sinatla, Speckman, and Ronald, they're back for the next 2 tournaments. So you follow the blitz books. If you're going to follow them, these are the 2 tournaments to back them. Because after Cape Town, I think they go back to Super Rugby. So it's not going to be as, the blitz book aren't going to be as fluent, as good, as strong. So those are a couple of notes. And then, in 7's, you need some pace. We've seen a lot of pace today. Then you need a strong man, and then you need like a little workhorse. If I look at the States from last season, they had, they've got the best speedsters with Isles and Baker. They're fantastic. Give them ball and space, and it's a try. And then they've got Barrett as their big man. Pinkelman is their workhorse. And then they've got that Nua who's their fly half, and he's their creativity. And now with the States, they've also lost. Pinkelman's not playing, Nua's not playing. So then you look at them and you think, are they the same United States as last year? And the answer is, it's quite frankly no. And that's why something like against Ireland, you're on the, being devalued by the books, and America being inflated. Then you've got a nice little, like today it worked out. On the handicap of 17, it worked out perfectly because you had the 2 mixing, and you just got to look out for those, and hopefully we can find some of those for day 2.
Excellent. I think we got Oracle trying to come in on another line there as well. But so it's fair to say, Sean, it's quite an interesting one because, I know you follow 7's closely, and I know 1 or 2 of the star players in that. But that's the key. If you can pick up that the workhorse of the team, for example, is not going to be there, it's something that the bookmakers may well miss.
No, exactly. That's why we had this show last time with Gavin, and when they with Kenya and Scotland, when they didn't, I don't think the books knew about Kenya's contractual issues, and it was pure, they were just looking on the history and the algorithms, etc., and then you get some value there. So I think we can find some for day 2. We can go through the games, and then I'll let you know what I think the handicap should be, and then we can check on the forum tomorrow morning how close we are.
Excellent. But that wasn't me that removed Oracle. That was Oracle removing himself. So he's definitely struggling with technical difficulties. Looks like he might be traveling or something like that there at the moment, which probably explains the problem he's having. Now in Oracle, he's driving up a mountain pass while trying to hold his camera in the other hand. But sure, let's get on to the games themselves. Then tomorrow we got first up Samoa against Wales. I know you caught, Wales were up against New Zealand today, and you were big time on the minus. Their handicap moved quite a lot. And they were given a bit of a hiding. You mentioned, I think, that they were one of the younger teams around. Yeah,
it's the youngest squad that they've, I think it's ever been on the circuit, if I'm saying to be corrected. But it's got, Luke Trehan is, their only experienced player, and they started with him on the bench today against New Zealand, which just shows that they maybe thought, listen, they've got no chance on day 1. Let's save our legs for day 2. So that's what they were thinking. So, but looking at Samoa against Wales, Samoa were quite good against Canada. Looking at past results, it's been quite tight. Wales actually beat them last year or the year before in Hong Kong's final. At the Bowl final, they beat, surprisingly, Wales beat them 33-5, so they smashed them. But I can't look at this Wales team. I can't take them seriously. This, you've got to go Samoa. Anything if it's -9 or better, I'd be all over Samoa.
Yes. All over Samoa. They will give Oracle another chance. Oracle, can you hear us? It looks a bit disturbingly frozen there. You're either incredibly good at sitting still, or we've got a bit of a problem on the line. Just at least give us a thumbs up if you can hear us there, Oracle, in which case we'll bring you on. But I think at the moment things are looking good, and it's not. Yeah, we're going to remove Oracle from the stream there for the meantime. Sean, let's go on to the next game. New Zealand, who you collected on today, they're up against Canada. Now, Canada over the years have been able to put in the odd good performance, but I think, am I right in saying they normally play well when it's sort of like Las Vegas and their home leg? Yeah, exactly. They don't have any new players coming through the ranks. They're quite an aging team. They've still got, Nathan Hirayama. He's a good player. They've got the same team as last year. Nothing flair. They don't have pace. They don't have something that's going to break the lines and just hurt you from nowhere. So with that, I just think that New Zealand's going to. The way New Zealand played today, they were fierce, they were intense, they were up for it. They won the title in Dubai last year. They over the last 12, 15 years, they are the best 7's team that's played. So I'm sure they want that back, and they just look up for it more than they have been, last season. So I think this cap, if you get anything, well, I think it might be quite high. I think it might be, if you get 24 or better, that's where I think it's going to be. And if it's anything less than that, then I'd say go New Zealand. But if it's around there, I'd be a bit wary. So I just want to make a note here, and you said Samoa in the first game sort of -9.5 or better. Right, let's move on to the third match. It's USA, who you're suggesting, not perhaps the force they were, against Scotland. If I'm not mistaken, you opposed Scotland today as well?
Yeah, Scotland, they don't have Scott Riddell and Vandal, who was their best, they were their try scorers. I think they've scored out of this last season, out of the 300 tries that the guys have scored as a team, I think they had 140 between them. So they're quite a chunk of try scoring power that's just disappeared from that Scottish side. We saw that today with Australia, just wiped they just beat them, what was it, 43-14. So they wiped the floor with them. I don't think the Scotland side will stand up against the States. I mean, the States were against Ireland. They were good in patches, but Ireland just came back well. I think this will be probably around the 10, 11 and a half mark, and I'd be on the United States on this. I think Isles and Baker, if they start with both of them, they're gonna run right.
Right, and just quickly, I was looking at the Facebook post there where Brendan is posting, and I saw Oracle had posted on Facebook. Him and his wife were at a restaurant 2 hours ago, probably celebrating the 25-year anniversary. So that probably explains why he's in transit at the moment. Sean, let's move on then to the next game, which is France up against Japan. This is the only game I caught a little bit of. I saw a little bit of Argentina-France today. It's the only bit I watched, and although France conceded quite a few penalties, they did impress me in patches with their physicality. Yeah,
that game. It was, I think Argentina could have won that game at the end. They had a penalty on the hooter. They just, they're also missing that creative spark that can just get them, break a line. If you've got a defensive line and you just maintain your structure against a team, Argentina are they can't break that. Where I thought that France in patches they did well, but the French are the French. You just never know what you're going to get. In saying that, Japan against Fiji was a lot closer than I think anyone would have thought. They only lost by 7 points. So out of the differential, if you have to look at all the handicaps and see who outperformed the handicap the most, Japan are actually the highest. Japan and Australia are the two highest handicap winners on the day. So you've got to look at that and say, are the bookies devaluing? They're not taking them seriously, are they not, giving them enough respect? Or was it just a freak game? And I think, with this French team, they'll look at this and think if they put a good one against, they've got Fiji in the last game. So they put a good match against Japan, then they qualify for the cup quarterfinals, and that's all they want to do. So I think that they're going to target this as the game of day two. And, if you get anything under 14, I think you've got to go France. But I think it'll be in about the 16 or 17 range.
Okay, so this is shaping up potentially as a no bet there for you if it comes in on that sort of range. Fiji up against Argentina. What was the handicap? I think Fiji played Japan today. I saw glimpses of this game as well. I gather they won fairly comfortably, but I got the feeling that Japan might have beaten the handicap.
No, they actually that started when it came out, it was minus 24. And then it drifted all the way to minus 28. So a lot of support for Fiji. The final score was actually 24-17. So Japan, only lost by 7. So it was of the bankers on the card, you could say that one just didn't materialize. Fiji just, I don't know if they didn't treat Japan with enough respect. I don't know what it was, but it wasn't vintage Fiji. But Fiji can turn it on, any other time. So that's just how they do it. So I'd look at this and think, I've looked at this basically the last couple of games, and it's crazy. I just want to pull it up. That Fiji against Argentina have covered 5 of the last handicaps, 5 out of 5. That's dating back to London last season. So I mean, it's crazy. If you look at every time the handicap's been between the 12 and the 19 mark, and Argentina, the most they've lost by in those 5 games was 14 points. Which was, in Paris last round, this year. So Argentina, the Cap Kings against Fiji. Bear that in mind that they lost against France, so they're going to need this result more than anything. So I'd be all over, the Argentina plus. Anything over 14, I'd take that. I'd all in.
Argentina plus anything over 14. Just an observation of mine on Fiji as well is that they tend to do their best work later on in the tournament, Sean. They strike me as a sort of side that go out there, almost enjoy themselves a bit in the group stages, win the games, but perhaps don't really always put the hammer on. And exactly. That was probably the case today against Japan.
Yeah, they just do the bare minimum. They've also, they're one of the teams that always have new players. They've always got, 3 or 4 players just waiting in the wings just to come on, and they've genetically built for 7's. I mean, Fiji are the perfect 7's players. They're fantastic. So they've got this ability to just have this factory of talent just coming through. So I think they use day one as a lot of, looking at combinations, getting the new guys in, just getting them settled. And like you say, they never shoot the lights out in day one. They'll get past, they'll get in the group stage. They might, if they play New Zealand or South Africa in the pool stages, really happens. But if it does, then they turn it on. But if not, they just do the bare minimum. I think, that's why I think this is Fiji against Argentina. They probably win by 1 or 2 tries. So if you can get 14, that's great. Even 12, because the way that Fiji, I've noticed that their kicking isn't up to, it's not as good as it should be. If you look at all the teams, Fiji are one of the poorest kickers. It's just, they just deal in 5s. Other teams are in 7s. So just that's something to note. But yeah, Argentina is shaping up to be a nice one tomorrow.
Excellent. But before we go in, we've got Oracle attempting to come in again. So let me bring him in. Oracle, can you hear us?
I can, yes. Sorry, I'm just arrived home.
Good to have you on the show.
I was driving when I was trying to get on just now.
Yeah, no, we picked up the. No, it's good to have you on the show. And do you want to get settled, and we'll come back to you, or you staying on with us now?
Yeah, give me a minute, Brent. Give me 1 minute. I'll be there now.
Excellent. Just give me a signal or comment on the chat or something like that. I'll just take you out for now. Right, let's carry on, Sean. We've got England 7 up against Kenya 7's. Where do you think the line's going to sit here?
Just England, Kenya. Tough one. Last season was bad, Kenya. And that's so. I don't know how much. I think you're still going to get value in Kenya because of the fact that they're going to look at the results from last season. I mean, just England beat them 36-7 in Singapore. They beat them 36-7 again in New Zealand, 29-12 in South Africa. So that's out of the three matches last season. They won 29-29 and 17. So they beat a 15 handicap. They beat hands down. So I think hopefully you get anything over 14 again, yeah, which would be great. I'd be all over that. Be on the Kenya Plus, just the way that they played with their physicality that they brought to South Africa, and I think their coach would be a bit hard done by. They were 12-5 up, and they lost 19-12. So it's just little things in 7's that count. So I think they'll be itching to get back, and they'll be up for it tomorrow. And I think that this could be a potential upset. If any team out of all the underdogs on the day, I think that the first 8 games, I think Kenya are the best to win the game outright against England.
Excellent. So that's England up against Kenya. Kenya could be the value on the plus there. South Africa, who battled past Kenya today, I think it was 17-12, Sean, that they won in the end, and they play against Spain.
Yeah, South Africa. It wasn't, you had Roscoe Speckman with some magic feet, to dancing in the 22. Just the way he got through those 2 players was fantastic. So, it was that X factor that got us through. We don't, the problem with the Blitzbokker 7's is we're missing a player like a Kwagga Smith. He was fantastic just to, in the breakdown, just get the ball, just disrupt it, just, that little workhorse. We don't have that as we did, and that's definitely lacking. We've got the pace, we've got the creativity, but we just need that doesn't take the limelight, that just does the hard yards, that we are missing. And also our passes and that aren't as fluent. If you watch New Zealand, then you watch us, the ball stuck. Everything New Zealand did was just perfect today. Where we were a little bit, knock on here and there, not as fluid, not as nice on the eye, which it's not great. But also South Africa might also just be going through this, get through day 1, day 2, get into the quarterfinals, and then they can start playing. That might be their tactic. Looking at this game against Spain, I think you're going to get a handicap in around the 20, 21.5, 22 range. And it's a tricky one. I'm interested to hear what Oracle says on this one, because for me, let me see what the line is and see from there.
Okay, excellent. Just quickly on the outright, I know that on the GG Gaming Gone Mad show earlier, and for the guys who haven't watched, you can find it on our YouTube channel. There's a bit of a competition there, which is leading up to a really nice prize in February next year. Sean, I see you went Fiji from South Africa. So I gather that if all goes according to the form book, you're expecting Fiji and New Zealand then to meet in the semi-finals?
Yeah, I was just looking at, I'm not sure. I must actually, have a look at it, because it's not the same, format in day 3 as it used to be. There's actually less games because they're incorporating the women's game. So there's less games on day 3 than there were. I think we lose 10 games. The cup quarterfinals are still the same, but the other ones, they lose their semi-finals in that. So there are less games on day 3. But the way I see it is that Fiji, they'll play New Zealand. in the semis, and then we'll pay. That's the only way. If it's any other way, I think that New Zealand, the way that they're playing, could even pip South Africa based on what we saw today. But I just think the way looking at it in the teams, I think Fiji will win this one and South Africa second.
Right. Let's go on to the next game then. Let's have a look. Where are we now? Sorry, I've hopped back to the top of the page. It's probably refreshed or something there.
I think we missed Australia. Australia Ireland, the third game.
Let's have a look here. Australia Ireland, yes. I don't know, somehow I leapt past that one. Australia Ireland.
Yeah. So this, I don't know if you've heard the talk about the guy named Quadzilla.
Yes, I have. Yes, evidently he runs 110.1 seconds.
Yeah, 10.1, and Colin Isles runs in 10.13. So I mean that's just to show you how fast. And Colin Isles is the fastest man on the 7 circuit. So it's just, if he can get unleashed, it should be great. And then you've got in the Ireland, they've got their own speedsters in with Connor. He's got Pate Conroy. He's got some serious pace. So it should be a great game. Out of the two teams today, this is all the games in the first 8 tomorrow. This is the one to watch because it's the two teams that impressed the most today, and you've got pace. It's going to be a good game. Looking at the handicap, what I expect probably around the 9-10 mark. Maybe even if you get a 12.5, then they maybe lean Ireland. But let's see what Gav has to say.
Excellent. Well, let's see if Oracle's ready for us now. And look, we got the thumbs up from Oracle. Oracle, good to have you on the show. I see you just come from dinner. I'm gathering that's your 25-year anniversary dinner you were at?
Yes, Brent. I was actually at a place called Butler's in Hillcrest. Fantastic venue, owned by champion jockey Anthony Delpech. And I just said to him, I've driven past the place about 800 times, never been in before. And he got a bit of a punt from Kevin Shea on Teletrack on Friday night, and I got into trouble, probably from Pumalela, for giving some advertising. But I got to tell you, fantastic restaurant, loved it. I told him he's probably watching us right now. I told him to get on and watch the show. So yeah, I'm ready to go. I know I've missed a little bit, so you can. I see we're pricing up games, so that's quite interesting. So there's no prices for tomorrow available. I didn't realise that.
No prices seen yet, Gavin. And essentially, we have run through the games, but perhaps just with you joining late, I gather you were on the Sean Nicholas plane today.
Yes, I was on the New Zealand minus, and I was on the Ireland plus. I had very small bets on the other games. Those were my two big ones, and arrived comfortably. Sean was a lot more bullish on New Zealand than I was. I was big on it, but I was a little skeptical. But for me, Ireland was the best bet of the day by a country mile. I loved that one. I know that they got into a bit of trouble at one point at 24-7. But I didn't feel like I was going to lose because there was still a little bit of time, or quite a lot of time left, and they did come back comfortably. So I'm going to have a look at these games, and I haven't heard what Sean had to say, so I'd like to have a go at trying to price these up myself as well. It should be interesting. The first game, Spain. No, I'm looking at the wrong one. Sorry. Samoa and Wales. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Okay. So. I'm going to guess we're probably looking at about a minus 12 to 14 Samoa. I don't know what you said, Sean. That Wales were rubbish. That one try they scored was average at best. I think Samoa had a bit of a tough game today. I did say plus there. I did a small bet. I did get plus 7.5 in the end, and I saw one or two other guys that were on the group said they took minus 7. I'd be very skeptical taking a minus 7. Minus 6, obviously, from a numbers point of view, is definitely the value in a 7's game because these guys deal in tries 5, 7. There's no 6. So if you're going to take 6 plus, you might as well take them to win the game. Don't take plus 6.5. Take the minus 7. Take the plus 7.5. You're getting huge value because to beat that, they've got to score twice. They've got to score 2 more tries than you have. I don't know. What did you say, Sean, in this game?
Yeah, I said it would be about 10, 11, around that thing. I said if you're getting anything, I'd be on Samoa on that one. That's
under 14. Yeah, Sean, it's probably a minus call for me.
Yeah.
Next game, New Zealand, Canada. Yeah, they're probably gonna go up in the high 20s here, 26, 28 and a half, possibly even 30. We could be seeing a 30 here. I got to say, if this is higher than 33, I'm a Canada punter. Anything under 25, I'm a New Zealand punter. It's a tough game, and it's 28, 26, 28. It's probably priced right. I'll know a little bit more tomorrow. But yeah, in the mid 30s, I'm a Canada punter. Low 20s, I'm a New Zealand punter.
Yeah, I said they'd be about 26, and I think if you get that.
Yeah, I think you're right. 26 or 28. I'm on the fence there. I don't know what to do at that number. That'll be priced up right. Next, got Australia and Ireland. Now, this is interesting. Australia absolutely demolished that Scottish team today. I had a small punt on the plus Scotland. I did take plus 7.5. It didn't matter if you took plus 14.5. They got absolutely murdered. In fact, yeah, as you said yesterday, Sean, without that Farndale and that other character, the Scotland team is absolutely rubbish. So I'd be very skeptical taking an Australian plus here. For me, this is not sorry.
Australian minus, I would imagine you mean there, Gav.
Yes, correct. No.
I'll tell you what, Gavin, let me tell you how
Ireland, yeah.
Oh, is it?
What do you think the handicap will be?
Yeah, I'm thinking this is going to be a double digits, eh? I think they're going to go 14, maybe 18, 17, something like that.
Sure. No,
I'm interested in Ireland. I've got to say that Scotland team will be smashed by, I see USA are playing them next. I think USA will smash the Scottish team, probably put 30 past them as well. I'm going to say go Ireland, plus if it's anything above 10, I'm interested in the Irish.
I think you're going to get about 12.
I wouldn't have a bet on Australia here. Yeah.
So,
I'm definitely interested in Ireland plus here.
So, guys, I'm going to suggest
we can hear you, Brent.
I'm going to suggest something for the rest of this game. See that Sean's gone through it already and basically capped it.
Okay.
Let Sean give you the cap on each game, and then you can say which side of the line you'd be betting on the game, and share your own cap as well. But Sean, because Sean's got it, so it'll be interesting to see if Sean was now effectively playing bookmaker, Sean. So moving on to the next game, we got.
You remember what I? Can you remember what I said, Brent? Did you write them down?
Yeah, I did. Minus 10.5.
I can't remember.
You
Jeez,
minus 10.5 USA.
Yeah, I think.
Sean, what's my limit there? Can you give me credit?
if you get that, that's it. Then I'm. What do you think it's going to be? 20s? What do you think it's going to be?
No, I do think you're right. I think the bookmakers will go double digits here. I don't think they'll go in the 20s. I think they'll probably go 14 or 15. I'm a minus punt on USA all the way at that. I think you're 100% right. The Scottish team was absolute rubbish. I'm expecting USA to win this game by the mid-20s. So, yeah, I'd take any minus up to probably 18 or 19. Only one, just because it's exactly at 3 tries. 17, 18, 19, 20, I'm definitely a minus punter.
Right, let's go on to the next game then. France against, let's see if I got this right. France against Japan. Sean, can you remember what you were looking at this game? I don't think it was one of your strong fancies.
Nah, this was a tough one just based on, France might just scrape it. Japan were really good against Fiji. So, I think the cap will be between 15 and 20 in the minus France side.
Okay. I'm a plus punter there, Sean. If they're going double digits here, I'm on Japan. I'd like to say I'm a Japanese plus punter up until probably about, or down until about 9. So you're 8 or 9. Any double digits, I'm definitely on the Japan side. The only way I'm backing France here is if they -1 or -2. So anything between 2 and 9, I'll probably stay out. I think Japan are definitely decent result, decent game against Fiji today. I know the Fijians made a couple of mistakes, but still, they shouldn't be rusty on their first game. They're world champions, or they're up there. Japan, that was a great game for them, great result. And I wasn't too impressed with France today. I know I spoke to you about this game yesterday. They were -3 or -2 against Argentina. I suggested the plus. If anything, it's great time. They lost by 3, I think it was. I'm a Japanese plus punter tomorrow against this if it's in the double digits, definitely.
Right, the next game was Fiji up against Argentina, Sean, and I did make a note here. You said anything over 14 I think you would probably be looking at Argentina on the plus here. You gave some pretty interesting stats, and I think you seem to feel that the handicap might be in that sort of region.
Yeah, between 14 and 19, and I'll be Argentina if it's that.
Gavin?
Yeah, Brent, Sean, we're not going to see a single-digit handicap. Yeah, that's for sure. I don't think they'll ever price up Fiji, Argentina in the single digits. So you're 100% right, Sean. This is definitely value if you're going to the teens. The only worry here is why I wouldn't go big on this game is that Fiji could find their straps and actually have a decent game first time out tomorrow. For me, in the double digits, I'm definitely an Argentina punter, but I'm not big on this one.
Right, let's move on to the next one. England up against Kenya here. Sean, your comments on this one? I think I noted you were suggesting if you can get about plus 14.5 Kenya, this would be the way to go.
I just hope that Gav, I said I hope that the bookies are still thinking it's Kenya from last season, because then we're in for a treat. But if it's anything, even I'd take plus 12 even, I'd be Kenya. I'm interested to see how they price this one up.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you that I'm going to go England here. I'd go England probably up to 14. So if it's between 10 and 14, I'm an English punter. In fact, if it's a single digit, which it could be, because they did have a good showing against South Africa for most of the game today. The bookmakers may think that there's something in there for Kenya. I'm not convinced. I think there's a little bit of value in backing England at a minus, but for a 2-try win, not more than that. So 10, 12, I'm a minus, maybe 9, 14. There's no bet for me. Anything above 14, I'm a Kenya punter.
Yeah, the tricky one. I mean, the next game, England and South Africa. That's your last game of the day.
Yeah.
So both. I don't know how England are going to approach this. Do they go with this? Do they just win the game, or and then save a bit of the legs for South Africa, or do they shoot the lights out and smash Kenya? I don't know. I just for me, Kenya.
I think they'll win
showed
it
something
easily,
today.
I think they'll win it easily without trying too hard. I think South Africa tried too hard. They looked like they thought they'd won the game when they walked on the field. I don't know. I mean, look, I was impressed that they came back at the end. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably out of the card that we're looking at tonight. Yeah, that's definitely the toughest game to predict a winner. To predict the handicap, I don't think
Kenya can win this game, Gav. Just write it down now. Kenya can win this.
No, they can win it. I don't think they will, though. I think they'll be beaten comfortably.
Excellent. Well, this is an interesting one. Oracle and Rugger Bugger up against each other here. And it can be interesting. I guess at the end of the day, the determining factor is how will the bookies actually price this one up. And I can tell you the boys will be sitting up during the night. I know quite a few guys will be waiting, watching things like the Good for the Game forum to see when Sean posts his picks on. Let's go on to the game, which is the last of the second round of matches, and it's South Africa against Spain. And you were suggesting, I think probably somewhere around 21.5, 22.5 points, Sean.
Yeah.
Gav, where's your money if that's the line?
Yeah. All right. So England are going to be playing. Sorry, Kenya are going to be playing the Spanish team next. I was quite bullish on Spain yesterday. I think I was a medium punt on it. I had a reasonable strike. Say reasonable to small. Wasn't massive. I was very surprised at the Spanish team today. I think South Africa will smash this team. I think they've got the game. Well, they've got what they consider to be a reasonably tough game against Kenya out of the way. I think they'll be free and easy tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow morning in Dubai time, playing Spain. I think they'll concentrate on the English game later on. It'll probably be one of the last games, if not the last game of the evening tomorrow. I think they'll smash Spain. Smash them, I mean, 20, 22, 24. Handicap on the game against Spain, probably going to be about, I'm going to say they're going to call it 20 or 21. If you get anything under 21 here, it's worth a punt. At 21, it's a small bet. And at 24s or 25s, I wouldn't touch it. I expect them to win by mid-20s, low to mid-20s here.
Right. Well, that's the end of the first round of matches, because after that we go into Canada, Wales. So there's not much point in talking about those at that point, because that will be quite heavily impacted by the second round of games. So let's leave it at that for the sevens, guys. I think it's going to be interesting. What time, South African time, Sean, do things get going tomorrow? I should imagine you've made a note of that.
9:9, 9:14, I think, is first game.
Yeah,
Right. Okay. So we can probably expect pricing to come out, I would say, in the next hour or two.
Yeah, but
they're
hopefully.
currently pricing up watching the show.
Quite possibly. And then
Just to recap, Gav, we said that Australia must be plus 12.5 against Ireland. We've got England plus 13.5 against Kenya. Those are the strong if we were bookies.
Yeah, try to throw the bookies off their line. I was going to say you could have quite a few confused bookmakers trying to price up the game there.
A level game in both of them if they want.
Level's fine. Kenya are going to win, so it's fine.
Looking forward to that. Well, of course, we've got to put a best bet in the Good for the Game newsletter. And by the time we send the newsletter out tomorrow morning, and there's a link down below, guys, in the comment section, of course, the betting will be out. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this handicap is because we'll probably be picking one of these 7's games as a best bet. And there's other rugby, of course, this weekend. Now, Brendan Vessels, unfortunately, the conductor, couldn't be on the show. Last week's Cheetahs train, unfortunately, coming unstuck by the narrowest of margins. But Gavin, perhaps I could start with you there. We probably don't have time to run through every game, but do you have any fancies in the Champions Cup or Challenge Cup this weekend?
No, but I'm going to tell you my best bet. Thinking about this and looking at again, Japan to beat France in that 7's game tomorrow is at this point is my best bet. I think we're going to get a lot of value there. I think they can win the game, just like Sean thinks that Kenya can beat England. Sure, they can, but I think Japan have got more chance of beating France than Kenya have of beating England. Brent, unfortunately, the betting stig had a bit of a personal issue and wasn't able to punch the numbers this week. So we don't have any betting stig stuff for me to have a go at. I honestly haven't looked at these European games. I'm not very good at them either. So, we did need the conductor for this one tonight. He knows every player and every referee and who's going to play. So I can't offer any advice on that, unfortunately. For me, it's just about the 7's this weekend. That's where I'll be playing my money this weekend.
Excellent. We'll keep an eye, guys, on the Good for the Game forum. We will have punters, some of them based in Europe as well, that come on and share their views on that. Sean, I will go to you on this. I know you have obviously been 100% focused on the 7's, but I've always been amazed at your range of bets. And have you got anything on the European rugby, or is it purely about Dubai this weekend for you?
No, I think that's, I've just gone, the Ospreys are playing Racing Metro. And just that Ospreys team is so bad. They are honestly they're just in disarray. The coaches it's just a mess. The Cheetahs beat them somehow with that side. It's just that Ospreys side is terrible. And I think that Racing, what are they, minus 13.5 that Sunbet, which is like that's 2 tries. That's the one that stands out. Not looking at teams or anything. That just looks like that's the wrong way. That's a couple of points short there. So I think I'd get stuck into that if I had to choose one of the non-7's of the weekend.
Excellent. Guys, thanks very much. Sean, anything else from you on the weekend stand out? Any other sporting code or I know it's difficult to call a best bet on the 7's, but your game to watch, would you say it's Kenya on the plus?
Yeah, Kenya on the plus is definite value. I think the game to watch from a spectacle will be Australia against Ireland, just from a pure, it's just going to be pace. It's going to be attacking. It's going to be a great game, and then I'll take Ireland on the plus that one. I think Gavin and I can agree that Ireland on the plus is always a power one. I think take Ireland on the plus as long as it takes for the bookies to price them up correctly. Excellent.
Gavin, closing thoughts from yourself?
Yeah, no, that's my second best bet. Ireland plus. In fact, they can also win the game. So if they're both double-digit pluses, you can take a small double there. Ireland to win the game, Japan to win the game, and take the double plus if you want. But as Sean will tell you as well, you've got 8 games here. It's very difficult to get all of them right. Even getting 6 out of 8 is pretty good. In fact, it's fantastic. So the real way to make money here is to pick the 1 or 2 games that you like, have a proper strike at those, and obviously you're going to be watching the other ones. They're on TV. Have a small go at the other stuff, but don't get involved that you're going to be dipping into your winnings from your big games. So it's as simple as that. Pick a couple of games, have a go, and just have a go.
Well, thanks to all the guys in the live chat, including Brendan O'Connell, who's actually been working at the Dubai 7's this week. And just moving on quickly, Gavin, you are going to be down in Cape Town next week for the Cape Town 7's.
Yes, I'm hoping Sean's going to join me, actually.
Yeah,
We've had a couple of chats about it, so he's a
I'm scared to be seen in public
Yes,
with the Oracle,
you
but it could happen.
You can cross live to me, Brent, before the. I'm only there for Sunday, unfortunately. I'm driving down on Friday and Saturday, so you can cross live to me before the game start on Sunday, and we can talk before the quarters and semis and before the final and all of that. So I'll give you what I think. I'll be betting in the stands, and yeah, first time at the 7's. I'm really excited.
Yeah, it's going to be great. We'll definitely have some shows for the 7's last week. Guys, thanks very much for joining us. Thanks to the guys who did come in on the live chat. It's a strange old week of sport. Strange old camera I've got because I seem to have gone down Donald Trump orange during the course of the show again. And then 1 minute it's there, 1 minute it's gone. I think it might be time for me to invest in some new equipment. But thanks a lot, guys. Thanks to Sean. Thanks to Gavin. And yeah, enjoy the rugby. Keep an eye on the Good for the Game forum. We'll have some European tips up for you. And if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter yet, you can do so down below this. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next week.
Cheers.